What if the people who feel closest to you are the very ones keeping you from ever meeting yourself? There's a strange moment that arrives after years of being constantly reachable. One day you stop feeling understood. The conversations start to sound like echoes. The laughter feels rehearsed. Even the sound of your phone begins to feel like an intrusion. And without quite knowing why, you start wanting one thing you were taught to feel guilty for wanting. Distance, not attention, distance. Nietzsche knew this pull better than almost anyone. He believed a person cannot hear their own soul while standing in the middle of the marketplace, surrounded by noise. He called it fleeing into your solitude, and he understood that the moment you stop being available, you find out how much of your life was built on simply being available. The noise was never you. You feel the pull, but you resist it. You keep replying instantly. You keep explaining yourself to people who never asked for an explanation. You keep tending friendships that died quietly years ago, kept alive only by habit, and you tell yourself, this is kindness. You tell yourself, this is who you are. But it is not who you are. It is who you learned to be so you would never be left. Let me show you what silence exposes, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Silence reveals which relationships only ever ran on your availability. It reveals how many people feel connected to you only when they have constant access to your time. And hardest of all, it reveals the version of yourself you slowly became just to stay accepted by people who were never really paying attention. You did not notice how much of your personality was built around keeping others comfortable until you went quiet. And then the strangest thing began to happen. The people who swore they cared started reacting to your absence in ways that did not match their words. Some grew irritated, some grew cold, some suddenly became very interested in you again. Not because they missed you, because your silence broke something they relied on without knowing it, your predictability. Predictable people make others feel safe. That is why the world quietly rewards you for being endlessly reachable, for over-explaining, for answering before the message has finished arriving. A person who is always available is a person who is easy to manage. And the moment you disappear, even for a little while, the people around you are forced to feel something they cannot stand. They no longer know where they stand with you. Nietzsche saw the crowd clearly. He wrote in Thus Spoke Zarathustra about the flies of the marketplace, the endless buzzing of people who demand your attention and call it friendship, who sting you with their need and praise you only while you feed them. Flee, he said. Flee into your solitude, where the air is clean and the great questions can finally be heard. Because when you are always surrounded by people, you slowly lose the ability to tell the difference between who you are and who you became to survive. That is the quiet horror of it. Most people never notice it is happening to them at all. The noise was never you. At first, disappearing feels wrong, almost shameful. Your hand reaches for the phone out of reflex. You wonder if people think you are rude. You feel the urge to apologize before anyone has even noticed you are gone. That reflex alone shows you how deep the conditioning runs. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that constant availability is the same as goodness, that a fast reply means you care, that always being there makes you worth keeping, that stepping back makes you selfish. But underneath that fear is something Nietzsche pointed at again and again. You're not truly afraid of losing people. You're afraid of becoming nothing without them. Afraid that if no one is watching, you might disappear entirely. So you stay reachable long after it starts hollowing you out. You keep up conversations that bore you. You hold on to friendships that feel like furniture. You laugh with people who drain you and you call it loyalty. And slowly you become a stranger to your own mind. Here is what years of constant exposure do to a person. You adapt. Around one group you become softer, around another louder and funnier, around another quiet and small. And after enough time, you no longer know which one is real. You only know which one keeps the peace. That is why being alone terrifies so many people. Because in silence, there is no audience left to perform for. And without an audience, the performance starts to starve. This is the moment most people run. Back to the phone, back to the noise, back to any conversation that will fill the space. Because silence, at the beginning, is not peaceful. Silence is a confrontation. You start to see things you could not see before. How certain people only appeared when they needed something. How some friendships were built entirely on distracting each other from being alone. How often you abandoned your own limits just to avoid disappointing someone who would not have done the same for you. Kindness without limits teaches people exactly how to use you, and most of them do not even know they are doing it. People move toward whatever is easy. If you always listen, they will always unload. If you always forgive, they will keep crossing the line. If you always stay, they will assume you can never leave. That is why your silence unsettles people more than your anger ever could. Anger still feeds them attention, silence takes it away, and silence drops them into uncertainty. Suddenly, they wonder if something changed, if you are upset, if you are pulling away. But what actually disturbs them is simpler and colder than that. It is the realization that your life might keep moving without them at the center of it. If you have ever felt the need to vanish from everyone just to hear your own mind again, comment the word disappear and stay with me, because this is where everything turns. People confuse access with intimacy. They think constant contact is closeness. They think a quick reply is love. But some of the deepest bonds live in silence, with no performance and no constant proof. And when you step away for a while, you finally start to tell the difference between real connection and plain dependency. Once you see that difference, you can never unsee it. The mind gets quieter, but it also gets colder in a way. You stop listening to what people say and start watching how they react when you have boundaries. That is the real shift. It does not begin when you leave people. It begins when you start seeing them clearly. Distance does something almost unnerving to your perception. It burns off the fog. The constant contact stops, the endless small talk fades, and patterns that were hiding in plain sight rise to the surface. You notice who only spoke to you out of boredom, who quietly competed with you, who seemed to enjoy your self-doubt because it made them feel taller. And you notice how often people punished you, not openly, but in a colder tone, a slower reply, a joke with an edge, the moment you stop behaving the way they expected. The mind is exquisitely sensitive to losing control. When you become less reachable, less predictable, less easy to read, people feel it before they can name it, especially the ones who leaned on your steadiness to hold themselves up. This is why disappearing changes your relationships faster than years of self-improvement ever could. People can tolerate your growth. What they cannot tolerate is losing access to you. Nietzsche understood that most of what moves between people happens beneath the surface, in motives they never examine. They feel the reaction without ever seeing the cause. That is why some people become strangely angry when you start protecting your peace. Your boundary forces them to face a part of themselves they were avoiding. The friend who only feels important when they are needed. The person who used your attention to escape their own emptiness. The one who mistook depending on you for loving you. Your silence exposes all of it. And silence has a cruel honesty that words never had. Sometimes you realize the people around you never really knew you at all. They knew the version that was always available, the version that tolerated everything, the version that kept trading its own peace for the appearance of harmony. And when that version goes quiet, the relationship starts to break, because so many bonds are built on roles, not on truth. One of you plays the listener, one plays the entertainer, one plays the caretaker, and the moment someone stops playing their part, the others feel betrayed, as if becoming yourself were an act of cruelty against them. The noise was never you. Most relationships do not end when respect dies. They end when awareness arrives, because awareness changes what you are willing to tolerate. You stop romanticizing the imbalance. You stop making excuses for people who only value you when you are easy to reach. And the stranger thing is this: the more at home you become in your own solitude, the more clearly you understand human nature. Not with hatred, with distance. You begin to see that many people are not bonded to each other through love at all, but through need, validation, reassurance, a way to not be alone with themselves. Nietzsche believed the hardest and highest task a person is given is to become who they are, not who you were rewarded for being, not the mask that kept everyone comfortable, who you actually are, underneath all of it, and he was honest about the cost. Becoming yourself means you will have to disappoint people. You will have to become less available, less explainable, less eager to hold every fragile connection together. And some people will resent you for it, not because you harmed them, because your becoming forces them to see their own standing still. People do not resent your boundaries. They resent the part of themselves your boundaries reveal. So you let the noise fall away. And in the quiet, you start asking the questions most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Do you actually enjoy these relationships, or have you only maintained them? Do you truly believe what you believe, or did you absorb it from the people around you? Are you living as yourself, or performing a character the world found acceptable? These questions are dangerous because once they enter you honestly, you cannot go back to sleep. And then slowly, you come back, not with an announcement. Most people will not even catch the moment it happens, but you feel it because something inside you no longer moves the same way. The old hunger to be constantly reachable has gone quiet. You stop needing every message answered at once. You stop feeling responsible for keeping every relationship alive by yourself. And for the first time, you understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the ache of being unseen. Solitude is the peace of finally seeing yourself. Most people never reach that second thing. They spend their lives afraid of silence because silence takes away the witnesses that told them who they were. When you went quiet, the friend who only called in need slowly faded. The people who said they cared stopped reaching out. And the few who truly valued you simply stayed without demanding constant proof that you were available. That alone rearranges your whole map of who matters. You become more selective, not out of pride, out of clarity. Because once you have seen how many connections run on quiet, unspoken transactions, you stop romanticizing closeness for its own sake. You understand that some people love attention more than they love intimacy. Some love control more than connection. And many of the people who say they miss you are really saying they miss the way you used to make them feel. There is a difference. It is a painful one. But it is the truth. The noise was never you. You did not become cold when you disappeared. You became clear. You did not stop caring about people. You stopped handing yourself to people who only wanted access. You didn't lose yourself in the silence. You found the part of yourself the noise had been drowning the whole time. Your attention was never meant to be poured out endlessly to anyone who reached for it. It was meant to be yours first, given, when you choose, to the few who have earned it. The day you disappeared was not the day you abandoned the world. It was the day you finally stopped abandoning yourself. If this reached you, leave a like. I read every comment.